What's up? I'm back talking about the Knicks, riding with the Knicks, driving in my car, talking about the Knicks. Got a long commute to work, and I figured, hey, I'm out here living in Ohio now for the last 10 years. Big Knicks fan. Nobody out here cares about the Knicks. No one wants to talk to me about the Knicks. My wife's over it, so I figured I'd make a couple videos, throw them up here, and we could talk about the Knicks. And I even got a fancy intro now. Roll the intro. Boom. Intro. All right, so it's not that fancy, but this will never be a high production type of thing. So let's talk about the Knicks. Big banger last night. Knicks and the Nets, 112 to 110. Didn't go the Knicks' way, but there were some special things about it. And I think that it became evident, something that I shared yesterday. This is obviously, New York's the Knicks town. The Knicks have New York's heart. And that was evident last night. When Quickly hit that go-ahead three-pointer, the place went nuts. When the Nets hit big shots, it was like, yeah, great. When Fournier hit the tying three with 19 seconds left, the place went nuts. So a lot of things from last night's game. Clearly, it's a Knicks town. And maybe that is the thing that will create a rivalry. And I'll talk about that in a little second. The fact that the Nets, no matter how good they are, how much they succeed, they can actually never be New York's team. That might be worth a rivalry. But we'll get to that in a minute. Alec Burks, thank God Alec Burks showed up, did his thing. If he laid an egg last night, that would have been bad for him, bad for the culture, bad for Tibbs. They would have been roasted in the media, all that thing. But he didn't do it. He went out there and did his thing. Barrett got like no playing time, so he better shape up. Obi got more playing time than Barrett, and rightfully so. But yeah, a lot of good things. And so I started to think about a rivalry, and I started to ask the question: are the Knicks and the Nets rivals? And my answer is I don't think they are. I don't think they're rivals. And so I'm asking, like, what goes into a rivalry? What makes a rivalry a rivalry? And I feel like it's got to be more than just being close in proximity. I think the Knicks and the Nets might be too close in proximity to have a real, authentic, true rivalry. I think it needs to be more than going after than going after the same goal, going after the same achievement. Because then every team in the league would be a rival with each other. That's not true either. It's got to be more than that. There's got to be some kind of storyline, some kind of background, some kind of extra juice, extra fire to make a rivalry a rivalry. And that's why I said maybe this whole having New York's heart thing could make this into a rivalry. But right now, I don't think it is. Let's not act like the Knicks and the Nets are the Celtics and the Lakers of old. They're not. Like, let's not act like they're the Pistons and the Jordan Bulls. They're not. Let's not act like they're the Knicks and the Pacers when Reggie Miller was coming in there lighting up threes and doing the choke thing. Like, that's not what this is. If anybody's Reggie Miller in the league right now, to us, to the Knicks, it is Trae Young. And so I would think that would be more of like a Knicks rivalry. And we're kind of like, that's what I'm trying to get into. And so what do you think about the Knicks and the Nets? Do you think that they're a rivalry? Do you think that there's a potential to grow into a rivalry? Or do you think that we're just kind of in different worlds but kind of too close together? I think that it's maybe more like brothers. I think maybe we're like a little like maybe the Nets are our little brother, and our little brother is a stud, and our little brother is probably better than us. But we've been around a little bit longer, and we got a little bit more experience. We got a little bit more cred, and they're not as tested long term as an entity, So, and do we want to beat them? Yeah, we want to beat them. But is it a rivalry? Nah. I'll tell you about rivalries. Like I said, I live out here in Ohio, and this is football country. Football started in Ohio, Canton, Ohio, Hall of Fame, and the Browns in Cleveland. Man, they had a team. Team left, moved to Baltimore. Became the Ravens, quickly won the championship after that. And then Cleveland didn't have a team forever. And so they finally get the Browns again, a new Browns team, and the Browns suck forever. The city loves them. Ohio loves them. They want them to do well. But they hate the Ravens for that still today. And so you kind of need that separate city thing. And I feel like really it comes down to, do you hate them? Do you hate that team? And I don't think that we as Knicks fans, at least me, I'll speak for myself, I don't hate the Nets. I don't hate them. I feel like we're the more functional team right now, even though they're probably better talent-wise, and they're the more dysfunctional team right now. And so, you know what? Like, I think that they mortgage their future for some kind of glory right now that's going to dry up and rot out. And the Knicks are doing something longer. Maybe that's a delirious Knicks fan talking, but I don't think I don't hate the Nets. And I think you need to hate it. And I think you need to hate your rival, because I think you need to love your rival. And what I mean by that is, your rival is actually something you need, because part of your identity, part of who you are, is wrapped up in being the antithesis of them. Because the opposite of love is not hate. The opposite of love is indifference. And so if I'm kind of indifferent toward the Nets, I think the Knicks are kind of like, there's a little heat on the games. Obviously, you want to win. You want to beat the team. You want to show who you are. But I don't know how much hate there is. And then that means I don't know how much love there is. And I think that if you're looking at your own life, if I'm looking at my own life, some relationships, you just, whatever, they're not relationships at all. You kind of brush them off. But those aren't the ones that really come inside you and make part of who you are. And part of your identity is about being the counterbalance or being the opposite of that. And so I think that if we're honest, the things that we hate, we almost kind of need them, or we almost kind of make them part of our identity. And so part of Ohio State is being a rival with Michigan. Part of the Browns is being a rival with the Ravens. But I don't think part of the Knicks is being a rival with the Nets. And so maybe I'm off on this. Maybe I'm wrong on this. Maybe what I shared is making you think about your own life and rivals in your own life. But let me know. What do you think about the Knicks and the Nets? Do you think they're rivals? Do you think that they could grow into a rivalry? And what would it take to grow into a rivalry? For me, I think it would take more media, more fans, more of New York telling the Nets, you're not New York. You're not our team. And I think it's that, like, we need to prove to you we're the real team in New York. I think that it would be about the battle for New York's heart. And I don't even think that that's a battle right now. I don't even think it's up for grabs. I think it really does belong to the Knicks. And so until that becomes a prize that can be competed over, then no. To me, the Knicks and the Nets are not rivals. But open to having my mind changed. Would love to hear your feedback and your position on it. But until then, go Knicks.